So the next thing we're going to do, now that we learned how to determine how much of a planting is disease, is determine the severity of that disease. So we moved plots just a little bit. I wanted to find some really good examples of the disease we're working with here, and then from that we're going to rate disease incidence. So in our work we have a rating scale of 1 to 6, 1 being no disease, 4 being about 50 or so percent of the disease, of the most diseased leaf on the plant is the surface area of that leaf is covered in disease, and then 6 would be the leaf is completely necrotic and dead from the disease. So if you come in here, I took some samples of what I'm talking about. So firstly, this is a completely healthy leaf. This would be a 1 on our rating scale. Next, we have a 2, and from this angle you might not see anything. It's always really important when you're doing this to look at the back sides of the leaf. So this is a little more present here. This would be 2. So this would be about like maybe 1 to 10% of the total leaf areas disease incidence on it. Here, this is, maybe a 4, almost a 5. You have these large patches of necrosis. You have the yellowing around the black speckles, and if this disease progressed a little more, I might call it a 5 on our scale. And then here, this is 6. So this leaf is completely dead. It's very wilty, very soft. The disease clearly took over the whole leaf, and it's dead. So that's like the worst on a rating scale. It's maybe 75 to 100% of the leaf is diseased. So yeah, your rating scales don't have to be exactly the same, but it's good to establish, your lowest value being not diseased, your highest value being somewhere between 75 to 100% of the leaf is diseased. So what we do when we rate disease out here is we randomly, again, how I explained earlier, we randomly select a point in the plot. So that's where this flag is here. So what I would do then is go in and find the 10 plants closest within that. You could also do the same method we did with our square footage. If you're calculating disease incidence and percent over a certain area, you could also just randomly select 10 plants or so, or however many within that area. Then you're going to take the most diseased leaf of each of those plants, and then you're going to take that rating and write it down. Then you would have 10 numbers from within a plot or within a specific area, and then you can just use those 10 numbers, or you can average them out. And then it would be good to take more points within the total span of the outbreak. And the most isn't better, but in this case a little more is better. So instead of taking just one snapshot, having 3 or 4 different ratings for within an incidence area, that could help you get a bigger picture of the severity of the disease incidence, and not so much just how far spread it is.